I am Joan Mendez, Permanent Secretary in the Office of the Prime Minister. The Interim HIV Agency has been established in the Office of the Prime Minister to lead and coordinate the national response to the HIV and AIDS epidemic. The agency comprises representatives from ministries and departments, the Tobago House of Assembly, an FBO, a CBO, an NGO, an international organization, the private sector, trade unions, and the person living with HIV. The members of the agency have been appointed for 2 years. The responsibilities of the Interim HIV Agency will include building and deepening multi-sectoral partnerships, public, private, non-governmental, to achieve national commitment, support, and ownership of the response to HIV and AIDS. Coordinating and supporting activities pursuant to the reduction of the population's susceptibility to HIV and AIDS. Establishing national goals and targets of the priority strategic areas. Monitoring and evaluating the implementation and attainment of national goals, objectives, and targets with respect to HIV and AIDS as identified in the National Strategic Plan. Approving budgets required for the implementation of HIV response processes. Defining national HIV policy and providing guidance on sectoral policies. Identifying training gaps and building capacity of stakeholders to mount an effective and sustainable response to HIV and AIDS. Championing and accelerating the legislative agenda required to support HIV/AIDS response programs and plans. Undertaking multidisciplinary research on issues related to the social, economic, and psychological antecedents and impacts of HIV and AIDS on individuals, families, communities, businesses, and other sectors. Collating information and preparing reports and briefs for local and international bodies. Monitoring and evaluating all aspects of NGOs' response to HIV and AIDS, and establishing systems to ensure accountability and achievement of stated goals and objectives. Finally, coordinating and providing guidance on the activities of the HIV/AIDS coordinators in ministries and departments.
Some of the key deliverables of the agency include ensuring that the draft National HIV Strategic Plan is finalized and adopted by Cabinet towards funding and implementation, development of a 2-year operational plan, ensuring that the draft National HIV Policy goes out for public consultation and is adopted by Cabinet, ensuring that the draft framework for umbrella HIV legislation that addresses human rights and stigma and discrimination is addressed by Cabinet toward the enactment of said legislation, ensuring the establishment of the NACC as a statutory body. The Interim HIV Agency is supported by a Secretariat headed by Director Dr. Beverly Andrews. The members of the agency are Mrs. Joan Mendez, Acting Permanent Secretary, Office of the Prime Minister, Chair. Ms. Donna Ferraz, Acting Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Community Development. Mr. Dennis Williams, Chief Technical Officer, Ministry of the People and Social Development. Dr. Akinath Mizir, Chief Medical Officer, Ministry of Health. Ms. Tatiana Parrott, Manager of the National HIV/AIDS Advocacy and Sustainability Center, Ministry of Labor and Small and Micro Enterprise Development. Mr. Robin Riley, Policy and Project Manager, Ministry of the Attorney General. Major Anthony Whitehall, HIV/AIDS Coordinator, Ministry of National Security. Ms. Patricia Hines, HIV/AIDS Coordinator, Ministry of Gender, Youth and Child Development. Ms. Eileen Alain Ovid, Director, Socio-Economic and Planning Division, Ministry of Planning and the Economy. Mrs. Joan Hannibal Phillips, Administrator in the Division of Planning and Development, Tobago House of Assembly. Ms. Denise Belgrave, Guidance Supervisor, Student Support Services Division, Ministry of Education. Ms. Miriam Caesar Moore, Director, Tobago Matters and Interministerial Coordinating, Ministry of Tobago Development. Ms. Jacqueline Jack, General Secretary, National Trade Union Center. Mrs. Magdalene Ruben Jacobs, Assistant Secretary of Federation of Independent Trade Unions and NGOs. Mrs. Donna da Costa Martinez, Executive Director, Family Planning Association of Trinidad and Tobago. Mr. Dale Enoch, Chairperson, Community Action Resource. Mrs. Isola Garcia, UNAIDS Country Coordinator, UNAIDS Trinidad and Tobago. Mrs. Linda Bessel, Executive Director, Employers Consultative Association of Trinidad and Tobago. Brother Noble Khan, Interreligious Organization of Trinidad and Tobago. Mr. Anderson Figaro, Founder, Voice of One Overcomers Club.
HIV is everybody's business. If you are not infected, you are affected.